Every step, every corner you take, every fighter you meet, every record you beat, we will be following you. Every
I'm getting
signature,
messages.
every
What's
trophy you
happening
win,
here?
every wicket you break, every
There are
breakaway
two types
you
of.
make, every
Okay, sir.
cross, every dribble, every dunk, every hit stop, every loss, every victory, every single sport, we will be watching you.
Welcome inside the locker room.
All right, people, here we are inside the locker room. It's gone past 8:15 for a Monday morning. Let's get in it. I'm Shokwa Martins, and this is Smooth Breakfast, and Inni is in the studio. Inni, hey.
Good morning, Shokbe. Good morning, Lagos. Absolute pleasure to be here. It's always very strange because I have to wake up very early, and I don't envy Shokbe one
But
bit.
man, Inni, I love your energy. Everybody loves your energy. They're like, wow, who is this guy? How can he talk like that? And
Made a
like,
bring money.
they're like rapid fire. So this one that you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I have to wake up extra early. I was like, no, but this is we can't see it anywhere.
Yeah, like I totally get, and it's always a pleasure to be here, and always a pleasure to talk sports anytime, any day.
Anytime, any day, wake him up at 2 a.m. You know, Instagram
Don't
has
try it.
calls now. Call him on Instagram. Let's see what he does. Now, of course, we are streaming live up on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. If you're on the app, just find us at smooth981. Hi, YouTube. How are you? And make sure you leave your comments up on the live stream. You can check out the face that matches that voice of Amy here inside the locker room. And of course, we are taking your messages via WhatsApp. The number for that is 0809 440 and we're taking tweets as well. We are at smooth981FM hashtag lockerroom981. So we're going to be starting off with some middleweight championship news now, because Isreal Adesanya defeated Jared Cannonier via a unanimous decision to retain the UFC middleweight championship. Now, he fought against the contender Jared in Las Vegas on Sunday morning, and people were like, nah, don't worry, he schooled him, he even tutored him, it was cool.
Yeah, it was absolute masterclass by Israel Adesanya. They call him the last style bender, and he's not getting all the hypes for nothing. I think he's is an absolutely terrific fighter, and he proved yet again why he's one of the best in the UFC, one of the best in the business.
Oh,
And
guys, he's ours.
yeah,
He's ours.
it's incredible because building up to that fight, everyone talked about the fact that Cannonier would be a really really difficult opponent. It might be, they started thinking about it. It's like this is a potential banana skin for Israel Adesanya, and he had to prove himself, and he's had to prove himself over and over again, because a few times people don't quite believe that you're the real deal, you're the guy who can really show your stuff every time you're being questioned. And over the weekend in Las Vegas, he had to show that he's top class, and he did that in stupendous fashion. And we're very pleased because all of a sudden nobody's going to look at Israel Adesanya and say, you're just a flash in the pan. Everyone not look at him and say, you're the real deal, because you've done this over and over and over again. You've defended your title 4 times, and the manner in which you did it, you talked about schooling and tutoring Cannonier on the
To the
day.
point that people were booing, they were like, what's this?
Because it was so one-sided. It was so one-sided
They were
because
like, we didn't come for this beat down.
Exactly.
We came for but you know how it is though, because he's the top dog, right? He's just powering through his opponents like this. Everybody always wants to see the fall of the top dog.
Yeah, exactly. And
is there anybody that we can hang our hopes on? Let's not say hopes, because for us we're happy that he's winning. But for the people who would say,
for the neutrals,
is there anybody that is an actual viable contender that can take this guy down?
No, you would think that at some point, sometimes, sports is like that. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
No.
For Israel Adesanya, he's gotten so used to winning, and you've got to say, when you see someone produce that level of consistency over time. There has to be something he's doing, there has to be something he's doing right, whether it's his training methods, whether it's his dieting, whether it's just his self-discipline. It has to be something great, because every time out you see him, he is at a level where you're looking at him and like, when is he going to lose? When is he going to lose? Because it just doesn't look like losing is in his dictionary anywhere.
This is right. This is right. This is called bad belly. You won't let us enjoy your lose. Your loss. It's just like, oh, I hear you guys, and no, it's never going to happen. I don't know, man. It's pretty epic, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. I was very pleased, from a sentimental point of view. He's Nigerian and all of that, but we're very happy for him, and we can only say keep the flag flying, keep it going. Keep that, that embers going. Just keep winning, because in the end, it's all about going down in history. Because you want young Nigerians who are aspiring to fight at the UFC, be at that level that he is. You're giving a lot of young Nigerians hope that you can achieve this thing. You can do this thing at the big time. You can do it at the highest level. If I could do it, you could do it. Even though it's quite hard, growing up from Nigeria, not really having opportunities and support. But I think Isreal Adesanya is building something quite extraordinary for the young generation.
Nice. All right. Well, hey, let's see. We'll follow his winning streak right until the sweetest end. And there's a little part of me, guys, I can't lie, that is hoping for something. It's not a good part of me. It is there. I just have to put that out there. All right, let's take it over to Wimbledon, because stuff is going down and fines are being handed out left, right, and center. Nick Kyrgios and Stefanos Tsitsipas have both been fined for their conduct during their fiery Wimbledon encounter. So Kyrgios has to pay $4,000, and this was for an audible obscenity. And Tsitsipas has been given a $10,000 fine for, and I quote, unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's quite,
my goodness.
it's quite crazy, because tennis stars are not, not all of them are very vocal or aggressive or fiery, if you want to put it that way. It's an individual sport, and sometimes some of these stars could show apparent frustrations. Some of them will hit the ground, hit their tennis racket. Some have even hit the tennis into the crowd, with showing a lot of frustration. And what you want to expect from sports people, I know that they're human after all, but what you want to expect from them is a bit of control, a bit of conduct yourself in the best possible manner. No one likes to lose. No one likes when they're losing, and tennis people will always want to win. The level of competitiveness is incredible, because it's not like it's a sports, a team sport. It's an individual sport. You lose and you win all by yourself. If you lose, it's your fault. When you
doubles, but yeah.
there's the doubles, yeah. But this in the singles events, it's quite difficult, and you expect them to conduct themselves a lot better.
Now, when we're talking about conduct, right? Kyrgios is not new to this bad
boy of course.
Kyrgios is known as the bad boy of tennis.
Yeah, he's blockbuster.
He doesn't care.
He's blockbuster, and he knows it. He loves to give the media something to talk about, and I just think he does it deliberately. I don't know. Maybe he loves being in the news, and he enjoys the attention they give him. And even when in the press conferences, you'd see that even the journalists who are asking questions, are choosing their words quite carefully, because, he looks like someone who doesn't mind the back and forth. He doesn't mind, giving it to you if he needs to. So I just think that he enjoys that attention, even though I just feel it's a bit petty sometimes. I think it's a bit petty sometimes. He's a great guy, but the off-field tantrums has got to cut it out a bit.
But look, okay, so here's the thing, right? Obviously, Kyrgios riled up Tsitsipas, but when we now look at what happened and the fines that were meted out, so Kyrgios got $4,000, Tsitsipas got $10,000. Both of them got those fines. Now, there's a reason for that, because why did Tsitsipas now have to bring the crowd into it and start lobbing balls at their heads?
Yeah,
what on earth was that?
It's like that in sports, even in football. A guy kicks you, you retaliate, and he gets a yellow card. You probably get a red card. It happens a lot. The guy who retaliates gets more punishment, because obviously he has gone overboard with his retaliation. Obviously, you talked about being riled up. I mean, you're going to be riled up all the time, you know.
No. I know. But what I'm saying is, rather than retaliate to
To the
the
guy
correct crowd,
yeah,
he went to
to-
the innocent bystanders. It's impossible.
That's what I'm saying. It's the frustration. He's just taking out his frustration on people, and it's quite strange because I mean the guy who's messing with you is in front of you. You know, just treat whatever you need to treat with him and not the crowd. And I think it took it overboard. And he deserves his punishment.
Yeah, both of them do. Okay, now real quick, let me give you I forgot to give you guys a rundown. So Super Falcons, as we're going to be talking about this in just a bit, Super Falcons begin hunt for La Decima. We've got CAF shifting 2023 AFCON to 2024 by a whole year. African timing, you are wonderful. Then LMC Hammer falls on Katsina United, and Ronaldo wants to leave Manchester United. Everton, by the way, are signing Tarkowski, and that's what we've got for you. Now, bringing it back to what is going on with the Super Falcons. So, Nigerian striker Sisa Toshoala has revealed that the Super Falcons aim to achieve La Decima glory at the 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations. Now, they've won the ALCON a record 9 times and are keen to extend their record at the competition and claim a historic 10th trophy. La Decima.
Yeah, La Decima sounds really good, and it's always great to have a record. It's always great to achieve something you feel might take another edge or two to be able to break. And I think they're fired up. The preparations has been good, and they start their opening game today 6 p.m. Nigerian time against Bayana, and Bayana in recent times have been perennial rivals for the Falcons. I remember at the Aisha Buhari Cup sometime last year at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Onikon. They beat Nigeria, and it was a bad result because they played better than us and they beat us. And we're playing them in the opening game of the tournament. It wouldn't be so decisive because it's an opening game. It's not a semi-final or it's a final. It's an opening game, but you still want to start the tournament well. And as Cesar Shwala has talked about the belief system in their dressing room, how they're desperate to get this La Decima. The important thing is get to the World Cup.
Hold on. My question though is, how are they going to fare, especially going up against South Africa without their first choice goalkeeper?
It's I don't think it would be such a big deal.
Because Chiamaka Nadozie has been she's been suspended.
Yeah, it's when you miss a big goalkeeper like Nadozie, and she's been absolutely incredible. She had a brilliant season in France, being named the best goalkeeper in France, and that counts for something if you're doing incredibly well and being recognized by an association for doing so well in the league. The French league is one of the best women's league in the world, and to go there and do what she's done this season, it's quite incredible. And massive blow, I should say, massive blow. But Tochukwu Lue comes in. Tochukwu Lue plays in Israel, and she's not a bad goalkeeper. Incredibly, Tochukwu Lue, before the last tournament, was the first choice goalkeeper. Nadozie was the second choice goalkeeper. Nadozie made a mistake. Lue made a mistake at the walk. Yeah, it was at the walk of the last time out, and Nadozie came in, and since then she's made the number 1 jersey hers, and she's been incredible. But Oluwe will come in, and you would expect that she will do a good job because she's a good goalkeeper. But it's a massive blow. You always want to put your best foot forward when you play against your bitter opponent, and South Africa are bitter opponents to Nigeria.
They are real bitter rights, guys.
They are hoping that they can put one over Nigeria again, and I know Nigeria revenge will probably be on their heads. From the Aisha Buhari Cup, you beat us in Lagos. You shouldn't be beating us in Nigeria, but they did, and they would be hoping, let's start the tournament on the right foot. Let's keep revenge aside and play the game. And if we get all 3 points, it puts us in good stead to build on in the tournament.
Listen, I have faith in our Super Falcons.
Yeah.
When it comes to the women's teams in anything.
Yeah, of course. They're very trustworthy.
I have faith. I know that they will not do us like what Togo's team did to their country. Because boy, that their game against you, everybody's like, they hold 4-1. Okay. That was real, man. So real quick, let's we've got to take a break, but before we go on our break, I want to read some of your messages. Tosa says Israel Adesanya is a beast. Anyone waiting for him to lose will wait forever. Oh, Tosa, I don't want to wait forever. I just want to see one game and then he can go back to winning. And Tosa also says Ronaldo should leave Man U if he wants to. I see the Super Falcons beating Bayana. All right, real quick, let's take a break. And Ronsa, I'll be reading out your message and some more messages after this break.
Your number one adult contemporary radio station. Relax, recharge.
Okay, let's see what we've got coming up.
Find the best summer holidays to Dubai, London, Cairo.
Yo, guys, the thing I want to talk about the most, and we'll be talking about it towards the end of the show, is oh my goodness, what happened at Silverstone?
Visit any of our travel centers near you.
I don't, I still don't understand that crap. See, Amy, I don't understand how these guys can do it because the fact that Joe Ganyu was in that crash and it was so epic, I was seeing the car was just flipping and somersaulting, like it would not stop. I was like, is this a roller coaster? You know, and I was like, oh my god, something must have happened, like he would have been hurt. And then he comes out and he says he's okay.
He's okay.
And then he's now going to get into the car again. I don't know how they do it. I actually don't know how they do it. Would you get into a car again like that after something like that?
Scary. It was frightening.
It was frightening. I feel like people would have trauma, but not these guys. These guys, they have nerves of steel. Anyway, that's why sports people are, whenever they used to go, they would always make good names for themselves during times of war, right? Because they have that kind of steel, yeah, once again, nerves of steel, right? They have that kind of moxie that says we can do whatever it is that everybody says is impossible. I'm impressed. I'm really, really impressed. All right, so coming up, we're going to be talking about CAF and this Africa Cup of Nations. But then again, it actually makes so much sense. Why were they trying to do it in rainy season? Does that make sense? All right, and we are back inside the locker room with business as usual and going straight into your messages up on WhatsApp 0809 440 981. Let's hear what you have to say. Okay, so Ronson says, Nick, ever the bad boy in the ATP, whilst Tokoni Douglas says, Israel did lose a few fights ago, but that was because he was punching above his weight class. Whilst Timmy from Ibadan says, Israel has lost once before, though, when he attempted to step up to a heavier weight category, in his own weight category, guys. But lesson learned, he's now maintaining his lane, Jeje. Oh, I love that, Timmy. And Oluwakemi says, Tochiko isn't a bad goalkeeper. It was just that one mistake she made in the World Cup that gave Nadozie the one shirt. Now, if the number one shirt, if Ronaldo leaves, who will step up at Man U? I don't see Rashford stepping up, and Sancho isn't as decent as we all expected him to be. Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya is just too amazing. Please, is he single? Because I have a crush on him and his winning spirit. Oh, well, you know what? We need to bring him on the show. That's some sort of love connection goes through. Meanwhile, Nero Cello from Ogudu says, without our top keeper, it will be tough for our girls, but all the best to the Falcons. I know they can do it, guys. I know they can. All right, real quick, let's talk about the change of seasons and change of months, okay? So, CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe has announced that the proposed 2023 Africa Cup of Nations that was scheduled for June, July of 2023 in Ivory Coast has now been postponed due to a number of conditions. I'm pretty sure rain was the major one. It's okay. This was after a congress in Rabat in Morocco. So the date of the competition is now, instead of June, July 2023, is January 2024. So they've taken it back.
Yeah, they've taken it back, and clearly it's because of the rain, and it's that time of the year in the Ivory Coast where the tournament will be hosted is at the thick of a rainy season, and they can't take that risk.
My question is this: do they not know that it rains?
Exactly. You know, I think the pressure from the European clubs. You know, European clubs are always saying you can't be hosting the Nations Cup in the middle of a European football season where we have to release our best players. Liverpool lost Sadio Mane, lost Mo Salah and Naby Keita in January, February. and they say that it takes something away from their team. So there's
I'm
a pressure.
sorry. Are they looking down on the Africa Cup of Nations?
That's what it appears like.
Is that what's happening?
That's what it appears. They say it's not true, but that's what it is. I think that's what it is, because we cannot. The weather condition in Africa does not allow us to play football in June, July.
Unless we're coming up with a new ball sports called water football that you hit with your nose. I don't understand.
It just doesn't allow us to play football at that time. It makes no sense whatsoever. I understand aligning the calendar with the European football season, but it makes no sense whatsoever to play football. It will be an absolute eyesore. It will take the quality away from the football. So let's play football at a time that is comfortable for Africans. Europeans can sort themselves out. They can sort themselves out. You are just hiring people to come and play for you, and the reason you're hiring them to play for you is because they're very good. When it's time for them to play for their national team, they've got to go and play for their national team. So you sort yourself out. This argument about before the last Nations Cup, there was talk about some derogatory statements attributed to someone like Jurgen Klopp, who talked about a small tournament. It's not a small tournament. It's the flagship tournament of Africa.
Yeah.
And you've got to allow players to go and play for their country. And putting this tournament in June, July, we can see doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The weather condition in Africa makes it impossible. So I think it's just fair enough to take it back to January, February.
Yeah, so we took the long way around to get back to the exact same position.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay, then. We'll just leave it at that and move on. All right, so real quick, let's talk about this. Now, Katsina United have been hammered by the league management company for breaching the NPFL framework and rules during their match day 35 fixture versus Remo Stars. This was in Katsina on the 26th of June. So what happened?
I think it's just crazy how people who shouldn't be anywhere around a football ground are allowed to just come and show their irresponsibilities on a football ground. It's just a case of violence. It's a case of just behaving in an unsportsmanlike behavior, taking laws into your own hands, assaulting people. Football is a beautiful game, for goodness sake. And we've got to allow people who love the game, who have passion for the game, to express themselves in the right way, and that's on the pitch. Not hitting people, not throwing things at people. And the league management company, I'm sorry to say, haven't shown a lot of guts in terms of punishing teams in the way they should. I think that we've got to start taking sterner punishments, and hammers need to fall really hard on teams so that they realize that it is football. It is the beautiful game. We're not going to condone any kind of violence in a football ground. The Nigerian Football League, it's already in a mess. It's already in bad taste to a lot of people. When you add violence to it, it just takes something away from it. So Katsina United, I hope they learn their lessons. I hope that they can, get their acting in order and just play football and stop the shenanigans.
No, I just love the fact that it was everybody joined inside this pitch invasion and protests. Players, officials, supporters, everybody. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. What do you think about that 1 million naira fine?
Ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous, and 1 million naira doesn't.
What kind of fine do we need that?
No, we don't. I don't even think it's more monetary. I don't think it's monetary. I think take points off the teams, because I think the teams play for points.
Okay.
If you take points off them, it's more painful than any other thing, because that's almost like working across purposes with yourself. If you win, we take it off you, so that that win was wasteful. It's more painful. Forget the money. If you find a club 20 million, I think most of these clubs are sponsored by the government.
They'll now be carrying their shoulders.
It's 20 million. Government can pay it. Will pay it. So it's nothing. So they know it's nothing. So take points off teams, and I think it will serve as a deterrent to others.
Okay. Well, that's just bad behavior, though.
Mm.
It's very bad behavior. Okay, so Oluwakemi and Tosa have been sending you messages about Ronaldo and Man United. Let's just get to it now. So Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave Manchester United this summer amidst concerns that he will be unable to compete for the biggest trophies at the club. So he's feeling the urge to win even more in the twilight of his career, despite the fact that his body refuses to show us that he has aged. But he feels like it's not going to be possible at Old Trafford, right? So
Yeah, it's not just going to be possible at Old Trafford. United are at a stage where they are rebuilding, and I know it sounds like a broken record. They've been rebuilding for a couple of years now, and Ronaldo just feels that he wants to be at a club where the level of competitiveness is really high. City, Liverpool, Chelsea. He wants to be at that level, and unfortunately, United are not that club because they've gotten a lot of things wrong in the past few years, and he's turning
but
around.
like when he came out and started making noises about this thing, right? Everybody thought, okay, so what's their response going to be? Like they say, we'll break
Exactly.
down and build
I,
up
I,
to
I
the-
remember we were talking about this some Fridays ago.
Yeah.
Where we felt that this was Ronaldo's ploy to get Man United, to splash the cash in the market. It hasn't
to
worked.
shape up.
Obviously, it hasn't worked.
Oh, jeez,
It
man.
hasn't worked, and Ronaldo is a fierce competitor. He likes to compete, and he doesn't want to be in a situation where he's playing in a club that are not fighting for things at the right end of the table.
Yeah.
He wants to be competing with the City and Liverpool and Chelsea.
He can't be a big fish in a small pond.
No, he can.
He has to be a big
That's
fish in
that's
the
not
ocean.
that's not Ronaldo. Whatever made Ronaldo who he is this desire to win all the time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that desire is not shared at that Old Trafford space.
Dang.
That's what frustrates me. They don't share the same desire, the same level of passion to win like he does. So I think the guy wants to move, genuinely wants to move. Where would he be going to? Sporting Lisbon, where it all started many years ago in Madeira. Possibly, he might want to go back home. He's 37. Is that you talked about the twilight? Ronaldo doesn't know age.
I'm telling you.
Ronaldo doesn't know age.
I actually fear that Ronaldo might be the kind of player that he'll be 56 and then the 27-year-olds will be like, now wait for us. They're coming. I really worry about this. The guy is like a Duracell bunny. He doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, he doesn't, and that's what made him who he is.
He did.
That's what made him who he is.
So you know what? I'm looking forward to see where he's going to end up.
Everyone, Ronaldo is blockbuster. Everyone is looking. Everything he does is news. So wherever he goes next, and Ronaldo, you're not just buying Ronaldo, the incredibly good player. You're buying Ronaldo, the guy who can come and just take your commercial value to incredible heights. And that's what clubs know. That's why they pay him tons of money. Ronaldo walks in the door and then the numbers start to go up.
Everything goes up.
So it's just great.
All right, now Ronson says, I won't blame Ronaldo because in the last couple of years, Man U has been a small club. Let him make a detour to Madrid. Whilst Tosan says, Katsina United should be punished. The punishment Giwa FC got is what Katsina United should get as well. AFCON cannot be played in June, July due to our weather, and Europe should stop seeing our tournaments as minor. The AFCON is on the same level as the Euros. Whilst Oluwakemi says, European clubs and UEFA have always undermined AFCON. I remember Klopp's comments about AFCON. How can he say, or rather, can he say this about the Euros or the UEFA Nations League?
They will have him for lunch. He won't try it.
The AFCON can't be played in June, July. Our weather just will not allow it. All right, and very quickly, let's take this one because we've got about a minute left. So Everton have signed defender James Tarkowski on a 4-year contract. This was after his last deal with Burnley expired on the 30th of June.
Yeah, James Tarkowski, brilliant defender, great servant with Burnley for many years. Unfortunately, Burnley have been relegated to play in the Championship, and he wants to play in the big league. He wants to play in the Premier League. And it's a good signing for Frank Lampard. I think they've got themselves a very good defender, a dependable guy, and should serve them very well.
All right. Oh, and because that crash is still on my mind. Let's do a little. Let's just make a little detour into some Formula One news with Silverstone and what happened with Joe Ganyu, because I said that early on in the show that we'll talk about it a little bit. Oh my goodness, that was like the crash of. I don't even know what to call it, but it was a real crash of life, because at the point I was like, I don't think this guy can come out of it unscathed. But Joe Ganyu managed somehow to get pushed off the track and then somersaults into and he said that halos actually saved him. Somersaults through the air and land in his car and still be okay. And George Russell was the man of the day, and in fact he's still the man of the week for me.
It was so frightening, and if you're not someone who likes anything gory, please don't watch it, because it was really frightening. And to come out in that way was just great, and it's just great. The incredible thing is he's still going to be around for another race.
He's going to get into another car and do the same hair spinning turns, and it's just impressive. It's really impressive.
It is.
So if you are wondering why British Grand Prix 2022 was trending on social media, now you know. And George Russell, everybody is hailing him because he forfeited the game, leapt out of his car and ran over to Joe Ganyu to make sure that he was okay. So that's why everybody's like,
that's great sportsmanship.
that's a sportsman right there.
Yeah.
All right, Any, we've come to the end of the show. Make sure you find Any at Any.
Monday _ in your bong.
Monday _ in your bong. Okay, make sure you find him. And of course, we are at Smooth 981 FM. The Locker Room, we are out, but we'll see you Wednesday morning.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, let me end this. All right, have a great day, man.
You too, sure.
All right, YouTube. See you later.